mynews.studio.
Picture this: a teenager in Sao Paulo listening to a climate podcast straight from her smartwatch. Meanwhile, halfway across the world in Toronto, a retiree is working through micro-episodes about quantum physics. Podcasting really is everywhere. What got us here, and where could it be heading next?
Today's date is July 5th, 2025. The latest stats are pretty striking. We're on track to hit 500 million podcast listeners worldwide by the end of the year. That's nearly 1 out of every 15 people on Earth. Did you ever imagine it would reach this kind of scale?
No, I really didn't. And it's not just how many people are listening, it's how quickly that's changed. North America still leads, accounting for about 39% of listeners. But Latin America, look at the growth there. That audience is increasing by more than 37% every year. It's global, no question. But what's behind this? Is it simply more content, or something deeper changing in how we listen to audio?
I'd say it's both. On-demand audio just fits the pace of modern life. People are busy, constantly on the move, always online. But technology is the other big piece. We now have podcast apps that are easy to use, smart speakers, even cars with built-in streaming. So you can start an episode at home and finish it on your commute. But I wonder, can creators actually keep up with all these different tastes and habits around the world?
They're doing their best, and they're getting a lot of help from technology. On that note, let's talk about what's really fueling the next phase. People are discussing video podcasts and bite-sized episodes. But I'd argue the biggest shift is coming from artificial intelligence. Do you see AI as a real turning point for podcasting, or is it just one more tool in the box?
I think it's more than just a tool. AI-powered personalization is changing the way listeners discover shows. Imagine opening your app and seeing a playlist tailored to your mood or interests for that day. And for people making podcasts, AI can handle editing, write transcripts, even suggest new topics. But does all that tech make it harder to keep podcasts feeling truly personal? Or does it help?
That's the big question, isn't it? Automation makes things faster and lowers barriers for new creators. But if everything is shaped by algorithms, do we start losing that personal feel? I really think the best podcasts in 2025 are the ones where AI works quietly in the background, but the conversation stays genuine. Listeners pick up on what's real. They always have.
So AI handles the technical stuff, editing, transcripts, sorting metadata, but you still need real people hosting, with their quirks and unscripted moments. Even the occasional interruption or laugh, that's what gives a podcast its energy. But is there a risk that chasing efficiency means losing what makes podcasts special?
There's always that risk. But we're seeing creators push back. The shows that stand out blend smart technology with strong, authentic storytelling. It's all about finding the right balance. And that leads to the business side. With all this growth, how are podcasters earning a living? Is advertising still the main way, or have things changed?
Monetization is getting a lot more creative these days. Dynamic ads remain important, but now there are subscription-only episodes, branded merchandise, and exclusive content for paying members. What's particularly interesting is that niche podcasts, those focused on very specific topics, are doing really well. Why do you think niche is so effective right now?
Because niche means loyalty. If you run a show about restoring vintage motorcycles, your audience is deeply invested. That attracts sponsors and fans who are willing to pay for extras. Plus, with AI analytics, creators know exactly who their listeners are and how they tune in, so ads and content can be more targeted. Platforms like Fourth Wall make it easy to offer merchandise or premium episodes directly. It's a whole ecosystem now.
And for smaller creators, this means you don't need millions of downloads to succeed. You just need a solid community. Let's shift to how people are actually listening. Mobile first is now the norm. Is this changing what podcasts look and sound like?
Definitely. People want content that fits their day-to-day lives, so shorter episodes, flexible formats. the ability to switch between devices without missing a beat. If your commute is only 5 minutes, you'll want a brief episode. If you're out for a long run, you might pick something longer. This demand for on-demand audio is forcing creators to rethink everything, from how they structure shows to when they release new episodes.
And as podcasts become part of more devices, phones, watches, smart speakers, they could soon overtake radio, maybe even television, as the main source for news, education, and entertainment. Are we watching traditional media lose its central spot?
I wouldn't say it's the end, but it's definitely a major shift. Podcasts offer a flexibility and intimacy that traditional media just can't match. The real challenge is keeping up with how listeners' habits change and always making sure the technology supports the story, not the other way around.
So, to wrap up, podcasting is expanding everywhere. AI is changing both how shows are made and discovered, but the winning formula is still authenticity. Monetization is moving toward niche audiences and communities, and the whole medium is shaped by on-demand mobile listening. We're right in the middle of a new era for audio storytelling.
And whether you're creating, listening, or just exploring, the pace of change means there's always something new to discover. How will you tune in next? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it now for free.